This thing on?
It's on.
This thing's on?
Action.
Hey everyone, welcome to Industry Headlines. He's Kevin Kaufman, I'm Fred Weaver, and this is a look at the last week in the real estate and mortgage industry headlines.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So a couple headlines this week. HomeLight Cash Close is number one. We're going to talk about mortgage rates falling again. And then we're going to talk about Compass because, it's been more than 30 seconds since we talked about Compass.
So HomeLight's an interesting company. I don't know the true background and history of them, but my first introduction to them was more that they were a referral company, right, referring buyer and seller leads out to agents. But over the last couple of years, they've done a lot of publicity and ads direct to consumer. I've seen TV ads and such. And just this last week, they announced the launch of HomeLight Cash Close. It's really like two sister programs that make up Cash Close. So one is called HomeLight Trade-In, and the other one is called HomeLight Cash Offer. If you're confused, welcome to the club. But no, essentially what they're doing here, right, is they're trying to create unique strategies for their agent partners and the consumer to buy homes in competitive markets, right? So, and not have to give up all their equity. So they talk about HomeLight Cash Close sort of being a counter to the iBuyers, which they petition in some of the stuff I read as taking your equity away from you, while HomeLight Cash Close will help you seamlessly transition from one house to the next without giving up all your equity.
I'm going on record now as saying they're going to regret that statement because they'll be an iBuyer eventually.
Right.
That's my guess. So yeah, that's definitely whatever. They slanted that for their own good, but that's okay. So yeah, I think the important thing I take from this is that another company is going, how do we remove friction for the end consumer?
Yeah.
And whether this works or not doesn't matter. There are companies out there, there is money out there that is willing to look for options to remove friction, and that's what's important.
Yeah. So anyway, you're going to see a lot more of this. You're seeing a lot more of it continuing to come. It's some interesting stuff. Mortgage rates fell to the second lowest level in the last 3 years last week. Like literally last Thursday, the January 30th, hit their second lowest level that they've been at in 3 years.
At 95 basis points below where it was a year ago this week. Man, that's crazy. Here's the deal. Like, I forget who I was listening to. Like, interest rates. Now, we've always said they're always going to go up, right? They can't keep going down. I don't know. Like, maybe they can keep going down. Maybe they're just going to stay there.
Based on results, they can keep going down.
Because it just seems like forever now. I don't know. It just seems like forever. Even a year ago when it was 95 basis points higher, that was still pretty damn low historically speaking.
Yeah. So anyway, check it out. If you're interested more on that, just go Google it. You can read more article yourself. But the thing you want to get out there to consumers is like, sitting around wondering if there's all these changes coming and all this. Mortgage rates are affordable. Housing's pretty affordable. Go out and buy.
Yeah, that's what matters. All right, and then Compass in the news again, shuffling some support staff, anticipates, quote, dozens of layoffs. Not a big deal, not a lot of layoffs, but they're still laying people off. That's
Here's why I think this is newsworthy, and tell me if I'm being speculatively wrong or spinning something here, but a company that has sort of teetered and teased the fact that there may be an IPO coming, even though their latest statement was there are no current plans for an IPO,
which is BS.
But they've sort of teetered on this, like we may have an IPO, like they're telling the story of growth and disruption, yet they're laying people off, which just like it almost, just for me as an outsider, not knowing their business model, not knowing their agent count or any of that, it just kind of doesn't line up well for me.
I don't know anything, but like my guess is this ties into, so like SoftBank is the biggest equity holder in Compass, right?
Yep.
When it comes to their venture capital, SoftBank virtually owns WeWork at this point.
Okay.
Right. The founder has been booted, and they are the controlling interest. My guess is like, they probably learned some lesson there because they way overpaid for WeWork. And I see opinions out there like Compass won't go the way of WeWork. And I'm certainly not suggesting that they will. But my guess, this probably has a little bit to do with like SoftBank going, hey, we got to clamp down here and make sure we don't have too much fat where we don't need it.
Okay, so I want to take a little of my previous statement back. This is shuffling of positions. Like maybe we've been spending too much in this department. We need to cut back there, because I also just saw that later on in an article that I was just kind of glancing at, they added 80 employees in January alone. So they're adding a lot of people, but they're reshuffling. But that also begs the question, 80 employees is a lot of hires in 1 month for a company that, to my knowledge, doesn't have more than like 20,000 agents, right? It's got to be in the 10,000-ish, 15,000 agent count range.
We'll have to look at their agent count. I truthfully don't know how many agents they bought.
A lot of hires.
But who knows, man?
That was very subtle.
That was subtle. But I mean,
you meant attracted.
No, I meant bought.
Oh,
like they wrote checks for
well,
most of those agents. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with them writing checks for those agents.
I don't either. If the business model works, do it.
If it works, what time will tell.
Yeah.
It feels weird. It feels like there's just more. There's another layer to the story that we don't know about yet.
If you know more about Compass, please share, because I'm still trying to figure Compass out, and I've been researching them for like 3 years now.
Yeah, I know we have
Since
friends
before you and I made a brokerage change, I tried to figure out what they did, and 3 years later, I still am clueless.
I know we have some listeners and some good friends at Compass. So, I mean, set us straight. Give us some facts on the company. We'd love it. Because truthfully, we don't know. It's been hard. This has been a hard one for us to wrap our heads around.
Yep. Thanks for joining us for Industry Headlines. See you back here next week.